I would like to make a pitch that you casually follow football this year. Here is why. Football in America is a great community building experience. It is a through line through our culture with all of its problems and all of its diversity and all of the different socioeconomic groups and states. I mean, when you think about the geographic enormity of the United States, I mean, the state of Texas is bigger than the country of France, and that's just one state of 50. I mean, we got a lot going on in this country. And one of the through lines that brings the whole thing together is the sport of football. And that matters. Community matters. Having things in common with the people that you are sharing this land with matters. And by the way, for people who aren't in the United States, you can put everything I'm about to say about football onto the main sport that people in your area are into. So if you're in England, soccer. If you're in New Zealand, rugby. If you're in Canada, moose chasing. It's whatever your sport is, put everything I'm about to sorry, Canada. I'll do a Canada show soon just to make up for that comment. So I'm just mad that my cell phone wouldn't work last time I was there. I love Canada. Anyway, let me tell you why I care about this. Longtime listeners and stalkers know that I grew up as an only child, and we moved a lot. I think I moved in, I think I lived in maybe 15 different cities before my freshman year in high school, in different states too. So we weren't just moving houses in the same area. This is before the internet, so there was not really an easy way to keep in touch with people. So I'd always be the new kid at schools, and we were not religious. I mean, my dad's super atheist. I was super atheist from day one. I was an atheist baby, and I don't even know how you be an atheist baby, but I was. And so there was absolutely zero community of any sort when we would move to a new place, because I didn't even have the local church or youth group to meet people. I'd get thrown into a school, and this was, unfortunately, I did feel like getting a perm would be what I needed to pull my look together. And I was also way taller than any other kids, so my clothes never fit. My pants were high waters. You know, I would try to tuck in a shirt, and the kids would all say I had it like pulled up to my armpits. Ooh, this really transitions into the trauma topic nicely. So my childhood, it's really kind of hard to overstate the isolation of my childhood. Also, both of my parents worked. So for many years, I was a latchkey kid. They'd get home at like 7 p.m. So I would not have friends and not talk to anyone in school and get bullied. And then I would go home and I would sit alone until 6 or 7 p.m. And the utter lack of community that I felt cannot possibly be overstated. It is a disorienting feeling to just feel like there's no group of people that has your back. Because the other thing is, my father was also an only child. So I was an only grandchild on that side of the family, and no cousins or aunts or uncles on my dad's side of the family. Now, my mom had brothers and sisters, and I had cousins there, but I only saw them once every 2 years because they lived in always 1,000, 2,000 miles away from us. So once every 2 years, maybe I'd see them. And to this day, I mean, I love them, but I text my cousins maybe once a year. It's like we have one text exchange, and I wish that weren't the case. They're awesome. I love them, but we never had an opportunity to know each other. So lots of isolation. There was one thing in this non-religious, non-community life of mine, that we did have football. And that also kind of for us acted like a liturgical year when you don't have, I'm Catholic now. So now we have the liturgical year. We have Advent, we have Lent, we have ordinary time, we have Christmas, and these are whole seasons. And it does break up the year. It's like, as I gave up sweets during Lent, it's a penitential time, and I'm failing at all of this, but at least I'm aware that it's a penitential time. It's kind of different. But when you're atheist, there are no atheist seasons. It's like this is the time that we think about how God doesn't exist, and then for 3 more weeks we like really think about how God doesn't exist. We read Richard Dawkins for 3 weeks. I mean, there's nothing like that. But there was football, and because football is such a popular sport in the United States, it is something that we just knew a lot of people who followed. That was the one thing that you could get people to talk about and get people to come over and get people interested in. And that community was all that I had. And I'm trying to be all emotional, and these kids are yelling outside. Could you tell these kids to be quiet out there? Okay. This is real life, guys. Caitlin and I, we have 10 kids between us, and they are all right outside the podcast store making noise. It's all I had. And it's all a lot of people have in terms of community. And that is why one thing that we are not going to do, one thing we do not do, is we don't make fun of football fans. That is actually something that is... It's funny. It really bothers me, and it's highly offensive to me when people dismissively say, "Oh, sports ball. Are you watching sports ball?" And a couple of my kids have done it, and I'm like, "Oh, no. Don't say that," because that camaraderie of following a football team and rooting for them, I feel like there's almost a certain innocence to it, that you're kind of putting yourself out there as vouching for this team and the other people who are into this team, and it's like, Don't make fun of people for being vulnerable, because there is kind of a vulnerability in being a sports fan, and there are so many people out there that being a Steelers fan or being a Cowboys fan or being a Kansas City fan, it's all they have.